Hi guys, I hope you are doing well and welcome to today's video. I'm very excited because today I am going to be letting TikTok, also known as BookTok, choose my TBR for the week. BookTok is obviously a huge online platform right now. I actually didn't really go on BookTok or TikTok at all until recently. I even made my own TikTok account and I've been enjoying it. So I thought now would be a good time to go on and see what books are trending and which books I should read. This is by no means a new idea. So many people have been making these videos for months. Some of the people I've seen have been Monica Kim and Mayor Reads, where they let TikTok choose their TBR for the week. I'm going to be doing the same thing. So how it's gonna work is I'm just gonna go on TikTok on my desktop because I'm filming on my phone, and I'm gonna scroll through my For You page, I think, and then maybe even look up the hashtag BookTok and see which books are popping up on my feed, if there's a book that immediately catches my attention or if there's a book that just keeps popping up. I have read obviously a few of the popular TikTok books, such as Song of Achilles, which I'm currently reading. I also have read every single Colleen Hoover book. So there's certain TikTok books that I have already read and won't be reading today, but I'm excited to see which ones will pop up and just finally get to some of these really hyped books. So I'm going to hit screen record now and we're gonna scroll through my For You page. It's muted because of copyright, but let's just see what we have here. Malibu Rising, so I have read that one already. My top 10 favorite books. Girl in Pieces. Okay, I've read most of these. The Kingsman, Queen's Gambit, Daisy Jones. So of all those ones, I have not read Girl in Pieces, but I have heard of it, so we'll put that on the possibility list. Give you guys my honest opinion on popular TikTok books. Shadow Between Us. Okay, read that. Don't want to read that. Read it. Okay, what was the first one they showed? Shadow Between Us. I'm not really interested in that one. Okay, Song of Achilles. I'm reading now. Books with the Toucher and Die trope. Not sure I even want this trope, but okay. Touch of Darkness. From Blood and Ash. These are the books I don't want. Caraval. Okay. Six of Crows I read. Kingdom of the Wicked. Grave. There's a lot there I haven't read, but they're kind of like spicy fantasy romance books that I don't really have an interest in, but I am interested in Caraval, so we'll put that on the list. This is going a little differently than I thought. Okay. Oh my gosh. So these are like a lot of TikTok books. Oh my gosh, this is overwhelming. This girl, that's giving me a lot of options in this TikTok. Okay, so Wicked King, or whatever it's called. Cruel Prince, sorry. That's an option I haven't read. I saw Ember in the Ashes in there, and I saw People We Meet on Vacation. Book haul, what do they have? Some classics here. Frederick Rockman, Us Against You. Those are mostly classics. I'm not about that. Modern books I think will be classics one day. Okay, read this. It's sweating and it's hot in here, man. Such a Fun Age. Okay, I haven't read that. I'm not seeing many repeats. Books coming to the big screen. Heartstopper, read it. Don't want to read it. Read it. Inheritance Game. Percy Jackson, of course. Summer I Turned Pretty. Read it. Big books. I don't have time for that. I do not have time. Okay. Shatter Me, I've not read. Selection I have. Legend I have not. We're gonna scroll past this one. Books I read in one night. Okay, let's see. Kindle Unlimited edition. I'm not reading Kindle Unlimited. Okay, my top 5 favorite books. We Hunt the Flame. Addie LaRue. Okay. Some of which I've read. Saw Shatter Me Again and The Inheritance Game. Not really interested. Not really interested. Ash Princess. Ember and the Ashes showed up again. Hey guys, I am back and even sweatier because I'm doing laundry, but I've decided the 3 BookTok books that I'm going to be reading this week. I took into consideration like what popped up multiple times and just like what I felt like reading and even what I physically have. So the first one I'm going to go with is The Inheritance Games by Jennifer Lynn Barnes. So this is one that showed up multiple times. It's on my TBR. It's a YA thriller mystery, which if you don't know, that is one of my favorite genres. I have kind of all of them over here. Basically what I know about this is that it is similar to Knives Out, which if you don't know, obviously has to do with inheritance, hence the Inheritance Games. So basically this teenage girl Avery gets left this big inheritance from this billionaire, and she didn't even know the guy, so she has no idea why this inheritance is being left for her. It's just this mystery, I guess, of her trying to figure out why the inheritance was left for her and dealing with the family who is obviously upset about it. The next one I chose was The People We Meet on Vacation by Emily Henry, which I've been really meaning to get to. Sorry, I slapped my leg because I loved Beach Read and this is getting so much hype. I don't think I need to say too much about it, but it is a friendship to lovers about these 2 people who go on vacation together and fall in love. So very excited about this one. And then finally, I decided to go with An Ember in the Ashes by Sabaa Tahir. This is actually my boyfriend's book that he was given, but I'm just gonna like sneakily borrow it. But this is a fantasy series I've been meaning to get to for years, and this one did show up on BookTok multiple times, and I trust the people. I have really been enjoying fantasy again, so I'm just excited to catch up on more of the popular fantasy that I have not gotten to in recent years. Or maybe this is more dystopian than fantasy. Actually, I'm not sure, and I'm not going to explain it until I start it because I really don't know what it's about. But this is going to be my TBR for the week. So let's dive into the vlog and see what I think. I'm actually not filming this vlog for another couple weeks. I just wanted to film this intro because I was so excited to find out what BookTok books I was gonna read. So I'll see you in a couple weeks in the next clip and we'll see how I feel about these books. Starting the Inheritance Games. Hey guys, so it has been a few weeks since I filmed that intro. I'm stressed, I'm a mess. Here we are. So it's mid-September now. I've just been feeling very stressed with work, and my continuing education courses that I'm taking have started up again. So feeling pretty busy, feeling behind on my reading schedule. But anyways, it's nothing to do with the book. Like, I've started Inheritance Games. I'm 50% of the way through and I'm really enjoying it. But for some reason, it's taking me a while to read it. I think just because I'm so like exhausted. But anyways, as I already explained, this is following Avery. Her mom has died. She's living with her half-sister. She's poor and trying to save up money for college, all that kind of stuff. And then she finds out that she was left basically the whole estate of this billionaire. He left like a few $1,000s for like the rest of his family, but the rest is left to her. She's never met him. His whole family is confused as to who she is, thinks she like scammed this man or something into being in his will. She has no idea why he chose her. So now it is, as I said, the mystery of finding out why he is involving her. He has 2 daughters. One of them didn't have any kids. One of them had 4 sons, 4 Hawthorne grandchildren. So the oldest one is like not focusing on him too much. Then the 2 middle ones are like the 2 love interests for Avery. 4th youngest one is like the most like fun one, I guess. But I'm definitely interested in the mystery. We're getting like some little clues here and there. Apparently Mr. Hawthorne liked to play little games with his grandchildren, little puzzles, and make them solve riddles and things like that. So obviously that is kind of what he's doing in his like death. He has left them this last big riddle. And then as it is YA, of course there is that little like romance element, which I'm also enjoying. In typical Marley fashion, I actually am enjoying her with both of the guys, both of the brothers that she is having a connection with, Grayson and Jameson. yeah. One of them is like, I guess the more carefree one, like funny. He calls her nicknames, which I always love. And then the other one is the more like hardened, like serious one that they like don't really get along. Yeah, just loving it. It's really reminding me of other YA mysteries. So if you typically like this genre, I think you would definitely like this one. But yeah, I'm really interested to see what ends up happening. I also know that the second book in the series recently came out, which kind of annoys me a little bit because I'm like, why are they turning every book into a series? Like, I kind of wish it was just a one and done situation, but we'll see how it ends, and like maybe I'll be open to a second book. But yeah. Okay, so I finished the Inheritance Games. Loved it. In TikTok, we do trust. So this one got like really good. The mystery and like little riddles and games just kept me engaged the whole time. And as I said, the romance / love triangle was like really on point in this book. But I see why, if you're not a fan of romance and thrillers, or you're not a fan of love triangles, then maybe this wouldn't be for you, because it is a pretty like big subplot going on. But as I said, for me, as someone who likes romance and love triangles, it was great. There were like some really good moments that had me like fangirling, and then also a lot of like angsty moments as well. I was gonna say I was starting to lean towards one of the guys by the end, but I'll be honest, I still like her with both of them. At the end though, I did get a little bit disappointed with the reveals that we were getting surrounding the mystery and Avery's involvement with the Hawthorne family. But as I mentioned before, this is a series, and I don't know how many books it's going to be, but I know there's at least one more book. This book definitely leaves off with a cliffhanger, which I don't think is a spoiler to say. Like, you should probably know that going in, so your expectations match it, because I was kind of expecting this mystery to be solved and it was not. So think of it as kind of like a truly devious trilogy sort of thing, where there is this main mystery that is going on throughout all the books, and you get like little reveals, I guess, throughout the series. It's not something like A Good Girl's Guide to Murder, where there is a whole new mystery every single book, which I think I like that better. But I'm still super excited to keep reading the series, because I am still like really intrigued with this mystery, and obviously seeing more of a romance as well. So this was definitely a good pick. I mean, it was already on my radar before book talk, but I'm glad that doing this little themed vlog really forced me to read it, and I'm giving it 4.5 stars. I really thought I was gonna give it 5, but then I had that kind of disappointment with the reveals that I mentioned, so I'm gonna do 4.5. But I still highly recommend, especially if you are a fan of those other YA mysteries that I mentioned. They're, you know, they just have the same vibe and are very similar, so it's definitely a must read if you're into that. I'm really excited to go on to these next 2 books. I think I'm going to do an Ember in the Ashes next, because my boyfriend has already read it recently, so he wants me to read it as well, so we can talk about it. So yeah, that's what I'll do. Guess what I'm gonna start now?
What?
An Ember in the Ashes by Sabaa Tahir. So you recently read the book. What did you think of it?
It was okay.
Just okay?
It was fine.
What did you rate it?
A 2.5.
I thought it was a 3.
Yeah, it would be a 3.
Oh, the title. So I gotta admit, like 70% of the time I'm reading this book, I'm just thinking about how to pronounce the main characters' names. Both of them. Is it Leia or is it Laya for the girl? Is it Elias or is it Elias for the boy? No clue, and I just keep switching back in my head, like back and forth which way I say it. Hey guys, it is Saturday, thank God. I'm like 150 pages now into Ember in the Ashes. I did look up the pronunciation. It is Laya and it is Elias. So it's always the I sounding pronunciation. So yeah, what have I been thinking? Initially I I guess, a little bit put off just because you are having to learn about this whole new world, and sometimes at the beginning of a new series that can be a little bit annoying. It's like just learning about the whole setup behind the world, and they're talking about an empire and marshals, the masks, the resistance, like all this terminology that you're trying to wrap your head around. This is definitely dystopian. It's not really fantasy. So now I understand that. We're following two different POVs. So Laya is the main girl, and she is like poor and like on the outskirts of this society, and her brother gets involved in some stuff, like he's anti-empire or something, so people come after her family because of him, and her grandparents end up dead. Her parents are already dead, and they take her brother. So then she is on the run and wants to try and save her brother. She ends up joining the resistance, and she gets sent to this school setting or training setting to spy for the resistance, and then if she helps them, they will help her save her brother. Meanwhile, we're also following Elias, who is someone who is training at that school. He's like 20 by now, so he's almost done his training to become a mask. And it's kind of funny, like this came out around the same time as a Court of Thorns and Roses, and like there's so much having to do with like masks in that one, like masks getting stuck to your face, and this is similar. Like once you're fully trained, the mask will like stay on your face or something, but they're basically like the little soldiers for the empire. So he's in training for that, but of course he's truly actually a good person and does not believe in what the empire does, and he like wants to escape and like not be a part of that world, but he's kind of forced to be. And then their paths meet while there. They haven't interacted too much where I'm at now, but I'm interested to see them interact more because I assume that is the main love story as well. But I'm a little confused about that because Elias has a best friend named Helene. She's a girl, obviously. She's like one of the only girls in this training place. I forget what it's called. And like they have a bit of a thing going on. Like they're friends, but you can tell there's like an attraction there and a love between them. So I'm like, is Elias and Laya even gonna be a love story? Because then I'm kind of shipping Laya already with another character as well named Keenan, who is from the resistance. At first I thought he was like an old man, and I'm like, why am I getting vibes? Like, is he old? But then she describes that he's not actually old, he's like around her age. So kind of confused about the love situation in this book. This did come out around a time when love triangles were a big thing, so maybe that is what's happening. There's gonna be a love triangle, love square. But anyways, this far into the book, I'm really enjoying it. I just want to like read all day, and I've like adjusted to the world. Like I'm figuring it out and what all the terms mean and stuff. There was one point though, this is something that's bothering me, but like I get the point of it, is there's a lot of like sexism and like violence against women, those types of themes. And at one point someone like kisses Helene without her permission, so like sexually assaults her, and then Elias like gets mad and stuff and like punches the guy, but then he's like, oh, you need someone else to kiss you to fix that. And I was like, no, pretty sure she doesn't. Like I think they were going for a romantic thing, like showing he likes her and he wants to kiss her, but I'm like, she doesn't need another person to kiss her. Like she just needs men to not kiss her if she doesn't want them to. Like, but anyways, definitely enjoying it. This book is really good. I have less than 100 pages left, but like it's so violent and like I guess you could say kind of graphic. I don't know, but just be warned if you guys are gonna read this. And the amount of talk of the R word and yeah, sexual assault is like crazy. It's like every single chapter. So if that's something that bothers you, be aware of that. It definitely is like a lot. Like it's very heavy. It's kind of upsetting how like casually they talk about that, which it just surprises me that this is YA and it does have such violent themes. Just had like a lot of upsetting things happen relating to like violence and death, but I'm really invested. I'm really into it. Like, so this was probably gonna be like a 4.5 star, I'm guessing, with just the 0.5 taken off for like some of the upsetting things, but it is just like really good as well. Also, there is still some like fantasy elements in this. I know before I thought there wasn't, but there is. I don't even know what else to say. I'm able to talk to my boyfriend a lot about it, which is nice because he read it recently, so that's been good to like discuss things with him, because this is a book where I just have like a lot of thoughts, but like obviously they're like spoilery, so I can't really say, but there's like just so much like upsetting stuff in it, and I know that like we're gearing up for some big twists and things like that. And yeah, I'm definitely excited to keep reading and like read the rest of the series. My boyfriend said there is like a big twist at the end that he doesn't like, so I'm interested to see if I will like it or not. Starting my next book. So excited. Hello, it is Monday. Oh, as you guys saw, I did quite a bit of reading yesterday. That was really nice. I read most of An Ember in the Ashes, and I did end up finishing it, and I did go with my predicted rating, which was a 4.5 stars, just taking away that half star for the stuff that I mentioned in the last clip. But I was just so invested in this book all of yesterday. As I said, it was really fun to be reading it in the same room as my boyfriend because he's already read it, and just like be telling him all my thoughts as I went through. It was just so fun. I just got that same feeling of when I used to read YA fantasy series when I was younger and just being like so involved in it. I felt a bit of like a book hangover after, but I feel like normally when people get that, that means that they like want to stop reading. But for me, I just like was like, let me pick up the next book because I'm just in such a reading mood after this. So yeah, big fan. I didn't like one of the things that happened at the end when we were getting like some reveals and like lots of action and stuff like that. There was something that I didn't love, but obviously I can't really say what it is. My boyfriend didn't like more of the stuff at the end, but he doesn't read YA as much as me, so I think just certain things he wasn't used to, like I don't know, like convenient things happening for the main character or like the romance stuff, whereas for me, I'm like, that's still great to me, like. So anyways, that was this book. So then I immediately got into People We Meet on Vacation by Emily Henry, which it's been like months I've been waiting to get to this book, so excited. I'm not quite halfway yet, but I'm loving it. Like, I just know this is gonna be great. At first I was a little bit put off by our main character, Poppy. I was just feeling like I wasn't really going to relate to her just with how she was acting, and she's like obsessed with dogs, and like I hate dogs, and like she has this dream job like traveling, like can't relate to that, and she has a very like out there personality. But as the book goes on, I'm seeing like she does have more relatable qualities as well. And then Alex, the love interest, is kind of more of the relatable one for me because, you know, he has a lot of anxiety that plagues his life, so love that. But yeah, I'm loving their dynamic because they are so opposite. But anyways, as most people probably know, this is a friendship to lovers romance. So Poppy and Alex meet in their first year of college, and then they are just friends ever since. They have this tradition of going on a trip every single summer, and eventually they get into some sort of huge fight, and they don't talk for like 3 years, 5 years, maybe 2 years, I can't remember, but they go through a phase of not talking, and that's where we're at the beginning. And then Poppy's, you know, feeling down, she's in her feelings, she reaches out to him, wants to reconnect because their trips that they used to have were like the best moments of their lives. So she misses that, and so they reconnect and decide to go on another trip together. So we are seeing that current day trip, and then we're also seeing flashbacks to all of their previous trips over the last 10 years of friendship, and it's just so much freaking fun. I love seeing their past trips and getting that like foundation to the relationship, but then also seeing present day and like that weird tension that they have because they obviously had this big fight years ago. I think something people don't normally like about friendship to lovers is that you don't get to see the initial forming of the relationship a lot of times, but this one is great because we're having those flashbacks, so that issue should be solved for anyone that doesn't like the friendship to lovers trope. in my opinion. I'm also very curious about what the fight was that they had because it's just sort of a mystery right now. I thought that it was going to be something that I thought I'd heard someone say about Alex having feelings for Poppy, like admitting he has feelings for her, but her not feeling the same way, and like that's why they had a fight. But I don't know if that's something I just made up in my head or if that's something actually someone said, but I'm just not getting that sense that that's what happened. I don't know if maybe she admitted she has feelings for him and he didn't feel it back. Like, I don't know if it's something like that or if it's something totally different, but I'm very interested to see what that is going to be. And at first I was just like so shocked that they were friends for like 10 years and never had anything romantic. But now I am seeing, because we're only seeing Poppy's point of view, and she is kind of having little thoughts in the back of her mind, like wondering what it would be like to kiss him and stuff like that. And I'm like, okay, this seems more normal. Because I don't know, it just seems crazy to be friends with like the opposite sex for so long and like never have it cross your mind, especially if like you were both single. She just keeps convincing herself like, oh, we're just too different, we're not compatible. But I'm like, girl, like, have you ever heard that opposites attract? Like, you literally are compatible because you have those differences and you bring out the best in each other. Like, I just love it, and I love that they're just so dumb that they don't realize it, and I'm just so excited to keep reading and see all their like cute moments as they like figure it out. Anyways, you can tell I'm like really loving this, and it's gonna be such a good book, and I'm reading this with my friends for a book club too, and I think they are loving it too, so it should be really fun to discuss. Yeah, so honestly, maybe I'll finish it like in the next couple days for sure, and I'll let you know my final thoughts, but like just a prediction, maybe 5 stars. I don't know. So far this reading vlog has been really, really good, thank God. Like, it's been so nice reading these like amazing books. So thanks, TikTok. Even though these were all on my radar before TikTok, hopefully I didn't cheat, because technically I heard of them all before TikTok, but whatever, it still forced me to read them. Bye. I just wanted to pop on here and say I am still loving People We Meet on Vacation. I was having such a good time last night reading it. I'm pretty close to being done now. I'm surprised I'm not done already. I felt like I was reading so much last night, but I guess it's longer than it looks. The dynamic between Poppy and Alex is just too cute, and I love that the whole book is just focusing on the romance. Like, every single chapter is with the two of them together, and we're not having to deal with them, like have scenes with other people, you know what I mean? It's just always focused on them, whether it's the flashbacks or current day. There's just so many cute moments, like when they're like kind of fighting about like Tinder and being like, well, I would swipe right on you, and he's like, well, I would swipe right on you, and it's like a fight, but it's like, you're just admitting that you are attracted to each other. And then when she is telling him of like signs to look out for when a girl's into him, and it's literally all things that she does, like make excuses to touch him, make little sexual comments. I'm like, Poppy, you constantly do those things. Like, it's so funny and it's so good. The only thing I am worried about reading it tonight, I probably will finish it tonight, but they just kind of came together, if you know what I mean. Like, literally. Like, literally. I just feel like now that the tension is like broken, that I'm not gonna like it as much, because that's just always how it is. I love the build up and the tension and the slow burn, which this definitely has. Like, they were friends for like 10 years, slow burn. So now I'm just scared about the rest of it. We still don't know why they fought, so I am invested in that part. But yeah, not too much to say right now, but I'll try and update as soon as I finish, which hopefully is tonight. Hey guys, we are now at the end of this vlog. Let me pull this down. Whatever. And yeah, I ended up giving this 4 out of 5 stars. I loved it a lot. As you guys already saw, you saw my reaction to the best parts of the book. The ending was also really good. My worry about it not being as good once they got together, it was still good, because we got to see that fight thing that happened in the past. It wasn't even really a fight, but we saw what happened. And then of course there was some present day drama that still had to happen as well, miscommunication, as you can expect, but it still just ended really, really beautifully. I think Emily Henry is really good at writing romances that are very fun, funny, cute, and steamy, but also had those like deep emotional things going on with the characters. I had my call tonight with my friends in our little book club where we all read this, and all of us really loved it. So yeah, nothing but great things, really. So all of these books recommended from TikTok, I rated 4.5 stars, which is kind of funny. So I guess something about this week, I just couldn't let myself give anything 5 stars, but they were all so good and so close to being perfect. In terms of what my favorite was, I don't even know what to say. Like maybe the Inheritance games, just because I am such a sucker for YA thrillers or mysteries. I just love them, and plus it also had romance in it as well. But I don't know, like between the two of these for the next one, maybe People You Meet on Vacation, just because I didn't have to read about constant like upsetting things. And then maybe last would be Ember in the Ashes. But as you saw, I thoroughly enjoyed all of these books, so I guess we can trust TikTok. Although, as I already said, like they're also from booktube, so I don't necessarily think you can always trust BookTok recommendations, but the ones I chose were great, so I'm really happy about this. Hope you guys enjoyed it. Hopefully you pick up every single one of these books. If it sounded interesting to you, please subscribe for more vlogs, more wrap-ups, things like that, and check out my TikTok and Instagram and Goodreads account. Thank you guys for watching, and I will see you in my next video either on Tuesday or Thursday. Bye.